Are you tired of falling asleep to mainstream media? The corporate press just lying to you. The Liberty Bites Back is here.
Oh my God. Thank God.
Against a police state. Against racist intersectionality. Against political correctness. Against mob rule. Against the racist socialist left. Against the victimhood liars. The idiots have been in charge way too long. And that's why you're here. For the podcast you need. All for liberty all the time. Welcome to Liberty Bites Back. With your host, Brandon Emo.
Welcome to the 17th episode of Liberty Bites Back, the podcast all for liberty, all the time. We have to end the tyranny now. In this episode, I will be going over solutions to the tyranny of COVID-19. COVID-19 A4, as we have been calling it around here. The solutions to the muzzle mandates, solutions to the lockdown mandates, and solutions to the new normal. After wondering what anyone could do to stop the mask mandates, I heard a conversation about hazard pay, and that gave me a great idea. If a business chooses or a business is forced to mask their employees, in my eyes, they should be forced to pay you double. That should be hazard pay. The hazard pay should be forced on all employers that require and are forced to or willingly want their employees to wear masks. And if they wanna or are made to muzzle us for hours, creating the phlegm in our throats, making us hack up nasty stuff due to the face shield, the face mask, or the face covering. All three of those should be the signs that they are wanting us to be paid hazard pay, because they're placing us in hazardous situations. Creating circumstances of acne, gingivitis, rashes, and sores on our skin. That in itself is against our health as a worker. None of this is for our health. The government is forcing them to do this. They listen to the media and think COVID-19 is dangerous, or they just want you to wear a mask due to this bull. Or maybe your governor said something and they don't know the quite in and outs, and your corporation is using that against you in your human rights. Well, they all think it's a hazard to humans then, because they're making you wear the mask. Having us work, and they believe it is hazardous? Oh, but they want you to work. Well, then they can pay you the hazard pay. And right now, I'm saying it should be double your wage. Well, if they think it's hazardous or the government thinks something is hazardous, we should all get hazard pay. But with my idea, the fact of forcing the masks on the employees, that is the sign. That would be the thing that shows that they think that something is hazardous, and hazard pay must be double your pay. And they have to pay you double your pay because they're placing you in a situation where you have to wear a mask all flippin' day. Even if it's just one moment of the day, you need hazard pay. At first I thought it should be lower, but it should never go lower than double your wage. It should be double your salary. You need to make it double or more. We have to show them that if you want to force tyranny on us, then you have to pay double. So someone needs to make this a law. For everyone wanting to push this idea, hear me out. First off, this should be for any employer admitting that they are putting their employees into a hazardous situation, requiring and forcing masks on the employees. What I mean there is, the masks is the sign that they think it's a hazardous situation. That is the corporate or the management deciding that something is hazardous. Nobody puts a mask on for no freaking reason. Therefore, they can't mandate masks for no reason. Their reason is clearly they believe something hazardous exists. Those employers that force mask mandates on their employees must pay each employee double their wage or double their salary. That is hazard pay, and that is what is pushed with the hazard pay. That would be what is allowed. They're only allowed to double your salary or more. Nothing less. More is welcome, but employer can never pay an employee who has been forced to wear a mask or face shield under double their salary or under double their wage. The fact an employee has to wear something over their face, meaning the mouth or the chin or the nose or any combination of those, that is a face covering. And when forcing a face covering, that act would force employers to pay that employee double their wage or double their salary. That is the only way we can stop these corporations, the businesses, and everyone to end the mask mandates. If businesses, corporations, and anyone forcing their employees to wear face masks, face shields, or face coverings are pushed to paying their employees double, oh, they will not pay you double. They will end the mask mandates, and we must push this to be law now. Mask mandates, face coverings. How to end it? Well, we could just stop. You could just take the mask, throw it in the garbage. You don't need it. Outside of my day job, I do not comply with the mask mandate, placing businesses on the blacklist and even being blacklisted myself from some stores and restaurants. I will defy and I will fight for my rights. Will you? Just take it and throw it away. We must not comply. They think of us as peasants. Like, let's be honest here. I've had a flippin' enough here. I've been in this tyranny for a year. I would defy the giants, the people who look at me as a peasant. My ancestors are Amish and natives. We have been looked down upon forever. You know, slander, rumors, belittling comments, I hear them. Oh, I see them now, right now, and I hear the same crap now. Oh, I'm maskless when I cough, when I sneeze, when I just get done smoking a cigarette and have smoker's cough. I'm done with you. I'm done with it all. The muzzled walking around, bah-ha-ha-eyeing around like the sheep they flippin' are. We must stand against this. A majority, but even just millions of us, we could all just end it now. We would win this. We would end the mask mandates. Don't mask up and defy the idiots. Do you hear me? Defy these retards. Defy them now. Our founding fathers said, "Give me liberty." Patrick Henry begged for liberty in the face of death, and I say the same. Give me liberty or give me death. I'd take the illness instead of falling into your psychosis. The liberty violating, the human rights removing tyranny that is happening in the United States of America. We must take to heart the United States Supreme Court case of Marbury versus Madison of 1803. The case that proved a law repugnant to the Constitution is void. They proved that we can just ignore it because it has no real authority to hold any force of law. They can't do anything. They cannot take our rights away. We must stand up and never give up. We must always fight for our liberties and our rights. Stand up next to me. We must have a republic. Say it to them all. Give me liberty or give me death. COVID-19 lockdowns. COVID 1984 martial law. That's what it is. It's here. This again could end. We all must not just allow. We can't allow it. If we just ignore this, we look at the face of the idiots and say Marbury versus Madison of 1803, a law repugnant to the Constitution, is void. This martial law is void. It is not allowable. Our human rights exist. The government has no way to take away our human rights, even if they suspended our Constitution, our courts, and all of our liberties. Our human rights can never be taken away. They are our rights as human beings. For existing, you have these rights. Everyone must stand up and say they will not take this. Are you a business owner? Did the city, the mayor, or the governor shut you down? Well, say this to them. Come and take it. Just flip and say it. Say, come and take it and give me liberty or give me death. The goons of the state, the police, if they come to you, remind them of their oath. And if they ignore and trample on their oath, we now have exposed a real traitor to the people. These cops, the ones breaking their flippin' oath. The police officer that breaks the law to enforce a fraudulent law. That is the real traitor to we the people. Most of these are not even laws, but are only decrees. Like the decrees of kings and queens, acting like we are the peasants that should be enforced and the boot used against us, but never against them. Look at Nancy Pelosi. You just flip and see Mike DeWine. They're all out there unmasked. They're not getting anything. But what happens in Ohio? What happens in California? Police brutality because of face masks. We must revolt from the tyranny they enforce on everyone. Are you an employee? Did the city, the mayor, or the governor shut your job down? Well, say this to them. Come and take it. Just flip and say it. Say, come and take it and give me liberty or give me death. Talk to your job owner and tell them to say the same thing. We must stand up all together and resist the tyranny of this bullcrap. Just look at the tyrants in the eye and say, we are staying open. We are a constitutional republic. We have rights. We have recognized rights. This whole situation is a constitutional crisis. Do you realize this, people? This whole situation, it's a constitutional crisis. As we watch the politicians allow the burning of our rights, the burning of our liberties for the enslavement device of a mask and the bondage of a lockdown, forcing the American people into martial law and removing our human rights, causing us emotional, physical, and mental pain. Many people are killing themselves right now as they ignore their own decrees and enslavement on themselves. These politicians, they're willing to cause us emotional, physical, and mental pain, but they don't even do any of their own decrees themselves. They're forcing that enslavement on us alone. They're not even doing it themselves. They always see us as the peasant. And they make this so obvious. My normal is a world free of masks, free of face shields, free of any sort of face covering. This is my standard in supposed to be the standard of any non-Muslim country as well as a bit of other cultures. The American way is a singular individualist plotline of my way or the highway. And that highway is a metaphor for the herd of sheep following the masses. We all choose my way, or we would align our way with the Lord's way. Freedom of religion keeps this open, and freedoms of thought that may, give many less selfish ways. But the selfish way of this meaning I lay out is not anything but an alignment of ownership. We all have that right. We all have the ability to create and be our own. Take care of our families. Take care of our neighbors. We truly see the smiles. We see the emotion in the people and can comfort those hiding their tension. Life can be tough, and we all may need someone to listen. We all take the advice. We do the advice. We always help, and for sure help ourselves as well. We got rid of the collectivism of COVID-19 martial law. We understood that individuals deserve liberty, and we took on the idea of individualism. My normal defends and saves the weak, the poor, and the ill, and the people to keep all their human rights. Now the mainstream media, the legacy media, the corporate prostitutes, whatever you may want me to call them, their idea of the new normal is nothing but psychotic. The comedic ideas of Monk on USA TV, that's their ideas. Their whole ideas rely on the phrase, what would Monk do? Adrian Monk was a detective on the show who was a germaphobe. He had many mental issues, and he asked for wipes. Little wet napkins that are used to clean things. Baby wipes, if you may. That's actually happened across the country. Everyone's asking for a wipe. I want a wipe. I want a wipe. I want a wipe. He would clean his home for hours, cleaning where people touched. It's happening now. Oh, he touched there. I must clean. He would deny shaking hands with people. It's happening now, people. We're falling into Adrian Monk land. He won't hug many people. It's happening now, people. They're not hugging many people. What happens when you hug someone? It creates depression to leave a lot of people. And now people are so afraid and they're not doing anything. Or they don't want to get a violation or something crazy. He would do many things, and that is what everyone's doing now. They're doing many of these types of things. And he would also do absolutely nothing because he's too busy doing all these things. And that's exactly what's happening right now as well. Everyone is so busy doing everything like Adrian Monk, and they're refusing to do a damn thing. In my normal, we shake hands, and we are surely standing up for our human rights. Our human rights are the most important thing that exists. And you may mock us, you may hate me, you may just be scared of my truths. I tell you, human rights are never going to leave because we are free men and we are free women. While many know human rights in a true sense are unable to be taken away, our jobs may be taken away before our rights, at least before all of our rights. The COVID-19 martial law in many countries are pushing for more smart-style communities where we never would have to touch anything ever again. This would allow governments to store our voice information, governments to store our facial recognition information, governments to control the grid of everything, even the doors and the windows. Everything would be controlled through an AI type system that the government could also see through. This in itself is a dystopian future in the works, but the corporate world is even going to mess up our lives even more. They are stylizing a gimmick for COVID-19 martial law. Many firing workers who have exemptions or even refuse just to wear the mask themselves as they keep the masked sheep and fire all the people who will not wear the masks. And now they sell that atrocity as a slogan. All employees wear masks. The question is, how far will they go? How far will these corporations go? All humans are covered in germs. Germs live on all of us. Many are beneficial to us. Some of our germs may not mix well with other people's germs, though. We are a creation to always spread germs. No matter what, we will be spreading germs. For even our skin is covered in germs. Many may be different germs than what you think, but in fact, it is always a fact that it's germs. The new slogan of the future will be, robots don't spread germs. Is that what it's going to be? The marketing ploy of the robots taking over our jobs? As the employees will save millions by replacing us? We have already seen the government pushing corporations more money, but then we also see the government punishing corporations for having humans as workers. With this pandemic, they are punishing many corporations and businesses for having humans exist in their establishment. This was not even too far off in their minds before all of this happened anyway. They were thinking about the robots. I've always seen robots as a clear tyrant itself. While some may make some sense, but replacing every job with robots is not clearly going to lead to anything good. Replacing every job with robots is clearly not liberty. It is slavery to the robots, for now they feed us. They have all the knowledge of anything now, and we would become only poor, dumb consumers. Nobody has an answer other than taking care and becoming a robot doctor as a servant to their life as a job in that type of a future, which just proves that that whole entire future is only tyranny. I would like to go ahead and thank you for watching the 17th episode of Liberty Bites Back. Peace.